back to the Young, Dumb, Broke podcast. I'm Young, Dumb, and Broke.
I'm Alex!
And I'm Taylor.
It still feels weird.
Yeah, I know.
It still feels
Introducing
weird.
myself still feels weird.
It's okay. We were gonna roll with it.
They should just know me as Young, Dumb, Broke. They shouldn't.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm just Alex! Not even Alex, no, it's Alexander.
Yeah, it's only Alex!
Alex! You have to do all caps. You have to do exclamation point if you ever mention me.
Yeah, hands up.
Exactly.
Jazz hands.
Exactly.
Alex!
We're just gonna make it so painful to add us that they're just gonna say he and she.
Yeah.
That's all they're gonna say in the
This
comments.
guy, this girl.
Well, I mean, that's all they do anyway. They're just like, she's this, he's
Yeah,
that.
it's true.
They don't actually care. They don't know who we are.
They don't.
And that's
they
fine.
Don't. And it's okay. So I come across your feed and you think that's a crazy lib and I go, I promise I'm conservative, and then it doesn't matter.
Then they hear my crazy takes and they say, wow, he's really stupid. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think
And
that's the vibe at this
natural.
point. Exactly. It's kind of realistic. I should be the dumb part. I am dumb. How about you're young and broke? We can just go from
That's
there.
fair. I am young and I am broke.
Yeah, and I'm dumb. See? We fit into our roles perfectly.
So good.
Yeah.
We're so good.
We have an icebreaker this week that is, I think, one of the more fun ones to contemplate because I don't even know what I would keep out of these apps yet. I was really hoping that you would have a good idea, and then
I think
would.
this is so easy.
Really?
I knew
Okay.
immediately. I was like, I know exactly what 3 apps.
Okay, so the icebreaker is called Technology Bankruptcy. Yes, AI title, but I think the essence of it is what's more important. If you had to delete every app on your phone except for 3, which of those apps would you keep?
This is so easy.
What do you think?
Google.
Okay.
100% I'm keeping Google
Mm-hmm.
because you can, which is almost cheating, because you can use Google to look at Instagram, you can use Google to look at Twitter, you can use Google to look at YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, all the things I would want on my phone, I can use Google for. And then the things that I can't use Google for, phone calling, text messages, those are my other 3 apps. So the 3 apps I would choose, Google Chrome,
Yep.
important because
Yep.
I hate other kinds
Yep.
of Google,
Mm-hmm.
Chrome,
Mm-hmm.
phone,
Mm-hmm.
text.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I choose.
Great.
Those are my apps.
Great. Did you ever think about the fact that you're never going to be able to take photos again? You got rid of your photo app. You can't take photos anymore.
Okay, then I carry around a little disposable camera.
Okay.
Cameras have existed long before phones existed.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
No, that's
I'll be
a fair
okay.
point. That's a
And
fair
it's a
point.
little bit extra thing, but like.
But at that point, you might as well get a dumb phone. You might as well get one of those little
right.
basic boy phones. That would be my.
I should go to that.
I honestly.
We're
think
gonna
that
talk
would be
about
better.
that in my frustration, but I should switch to that.
I think that's the answer for most people anyway. Export all the stuff that needs to be done for work anyway to your computer.
Yeah.
You can bring that
I'm
everywhere
about to
now.
have a work phone.
Yeah, or with an iPad
Like-
nowadays. An iPad can do
Like
most of it.
this office doesn't do a work phone, but I'm about to switch offices, and I will get a work phone at my.
We actually
when I
did some
leave.
investigating, and there are some cases where people have work phones and they get the. Yeah, we can talk about it often.
Most people don't have.
Yeah.
work phones.
It's
My
a thing.
position doesn't
It's
have
a
work
thing.
phones.
So I think that it's a little bit trickier, and I want to keep my camera. I don't have to keep my photos because guess what? I can plug it into my computer
Yeah.
to access it.
Automatically, yeah.
Yeah, my thing is I don't normally not have my iPad or my computer on me, so I can live without Google. I'll be honest. What I need is a
Fair.
phone, but I don't care about text message. I'm gonna be honest. I would prefer to call everybody. I would absolutely.
Yeah,
get
I
rid of-
hate texting, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's necessary evil.
That's fair. I think honestly, Slack. In that, I know that sounds really bad, but Slack has so many
Get a load of
capabilities
this
now.
guy.
But Slack has so many capabilities now. So I am an admin. I'm Slack certified to be an admin now. Sorry, Salesforce Slack administrator, because of course Salesforce has to label everything because they bought them, by the way, back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, they bought
I didn't
them
know that.
2 years ago.
That's
so
crazy.
Their certifications aren't called Slack anything anymore. They're called Salesforce blah, 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 which is so deeply ironic. But there are so many things that you can do with it. You can honestly replace every other function and just have it piped in. So I could have all my Outlook stuff in Slack. I could have practically everything. Now, would it look ugly? Yeah,
But it works.
But
What
I could
matters
build
is
it.
that it works.
exactly.
Yeah.
I could build it to do what I need to do. And you can even get messages piped in there in theory if you're good enough.
Yeah, but in theory, I could, like Google Chrome, I could sign
That's
into my
fair.
Outlook
That's
there
fair.
as well.
That's 100% fair. I think that just that alone,
But
being
that's a
able to
good,
Google
it's a
things,
good thought experiment.
and also Giphy. Come on, Slack has Giphy built in. At
so
least
does
in
text
our
message.
yeah, I know, but Giphy is an absolute necessary, and I don't have to deal with the
Can
family
I
group
be
chats and
honest?
everything. What's up?
I don't know how to use Giphy.
On Slack or on the phone?
Slack.
Okay, you
And
just
kind of on the phone.
slash Giphy. You just
yeah,
slash
I've
command.
tried that, and then I just don't know what to do after
You
that.
type whatever you want, and it doesn't show all the images. It just picks one for you based on the text prompt.
I don't
if you
like
do it that,
that.
way. Well, you
I
can,
want to pick it.
You can pull up the app itself too. It's a little action on the side of the chat. So the
Okay, I
little plus
might need to
button.
put in a tech ticket and have you help me
Yes,
with this.
for the next 10 days that you're here, I'll make sure that you're proficient at using
Thank you.
Giphy. Okay, sure.
It's never
sure.
too late to expand your skill set.
That's fair. That's fair. I think from here, we should move on to our frustrations. What is yours?
My frustration. I have deleted Instagram off my phone, which was the right decision to do
This is definitely right.
because I was on it all the time. I mean, just like constantly on it.
A little
I
bit too
couldn't
much,
get off
maybe.
Of it. And I I want to read more.
Mhm.
That's something that like I'm trying to do for the end of the year is like read a bunch because I'm kind of behind on like reading.
Me as well. I
And
understand.
Yeah, and I feel embarrassed about that. So I deleted Instagram, and I'm focusing. I'm praying a lot more, and I'm reading my Bible a lot more, and I'm reading other things a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't delete Twitter. My frustration is I can't get off of Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
It's
the
like,
algorithms
and it's
have
and
you.
Twitter is worse for me
Yes.
than Instagram
Yes.
because
Agreed.
now I'm angry all the time.
Yes.
Like when I'm on Instagram, it's like
Mhm.
it's like baby video, dog video,
Mhm.
baby video, Taylor Swift video. Oh, I don't like that. Scroll past really quick.
Mhm.
Dog video, baby
Mhm.
video, wedding video, cute couple, my friends, yay, my friends.
Very seldom is it anger that it evokes.
when I'm
in you.
on X, it's like
Mhm.
the world is on fire. And perhaps you have contributed to it.
Yep.
And if you have not contributed to it, then you will contribute to it. And the
Most
world is going to
definitely.
end. And the world is ending right now. Why are you not mad about it? Why are you not mad that the world is ending right now? And I'm like, and then I get off of Twitter and I'm like upset
Yeah.
all the time. But I can't get off of it. I'm addicted to Twitter.
You know what gets me mad about X now? I still call it Twitter to some degree, but my next thing is an X exclusive thing, is Grok is everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as the summarization. It's the Grok, is this true? It's
Yeah.
become such a meme, but
Everything
it's
is
so
Ask
true.
Grok. Is Ask Grok.
I know.
I don't even like Grok.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be honest. Somebody in our office said
Just because I don't like
Grok-
the name. It's yucky.
Well, so actually, it's a fascinating correlation. I will make this as quick of a tangent as possible. Elon Musk is a man that loves his sci-fi novels. Grok, the term, may pre-exist the book that I'm about to mention, but this book, I believe it's The Man from Mars, or no, Stranger in a Strange World. That's the actual name of the book. That is about a guy who was born on Mars after things happened. He grew up in a Martian culture of aliens, blah, 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 comes back to Earth, and he's able to use his abilities to basically control people around him. That is the end-all, be-all of the book. Sorry if I'm spoiling something. Well, we know for a fact that Mr.
Yuck.
Musk loved to read this
Yuck.
book. The term grok is to fully understand something, to not just understand its material composition or its use, but to truly understand the purpose of something, the underlying idea. And you know who else read that book before they went on to go and become famous? Infamous, actually? Mr. Manson. Yeah, you heard
Oh
me
my
right.
gosh.
You heard me right.
That's
That-
crazy.
Yeah, this is mentioned in the book Chaos. Rogan had the guy on who loved Chaos and read through it.
Okay.
But he explicitly talks about, Manson talks about reading this book and being inspired by the cult-like following. And the
Okay, I'm
character in
upset
the
by
book
all this.
is he literally starts a cult where all they care about is having fun, being one giant community, doing thruples and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I know, it's creepy and it's
And
weird, man.
Twitter is kind of that now.
I'm just saying
I
it's
mean, like-
creepy and it's weird. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that Elon's sitting there saying, yes, I am of the same mind, but it seems like a weird coincidence. Now, he would probably say, I just like the books, and I think the term
Yeah.
grok makes sense, but that was a weird connection that I wanted
That's
to point
weird.
out. Yeah, not a
Anyways,
fan.
I need to get off X.
Yes, please.
That's my frustration. I
please
need to get off X.
do get off of X. Okay, so my frustration. This one, it hit me hard. And it's not because it's super crucial, but it affects my almost every day, I would say. Every single day, this is something that I look at now and I'm frustrated. I get Purdue chicken nuggets from Costco, okay? I get a nice big
I saw
pack.
you eating them the other day.
Yeah, I bring them into work for
yeah.
lunch sometimes too. I normally have them after a run for dinner. And they were so nice. You get 16 of them. That is 840 calories. I know the math.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Now, guess what they go and do? Shrinkflation is real. As much as I mocked them for it, shrinkflation is real. They made my chicken nuggets smaller.
No.
Ever so slightly. I didn't notice in the bag itself, but when I put them on the rack, where I always put them on the rack, I immediately know, wait, hold on. I could fit another nugget on here. Something's wrong. I have never been so frustrated. And let's be clear, I'm still going to buy them because I do love those chicken nuggets. But if they make them smaller again, I may have to do this thing called respond with my buying power and say, no, I'm going to go buy your competitor.
There's the free market conservatism
I know, but it's so
coming out in you.
I know.
It's hard.
It's
so
hard.
Stupid. It's hard in actuality.
I know. I just because I love my chicken nugs, but Just Bare didn't change theirs, so maybe I will just go back to Just Bare because their calorie profile is about the same. They're a little bit crunchier too. They do well in the air fryer, though they've always been more expensive. But at this point, if I'm paying the same thing and I'm getting less, why? This is stupid. But that's a really petty thing.
You know what I saw on Twitter?
What? Oh, did Purdue put something out?
No, I didn't see this specifically, but I saw someone like a bunch of like economic people saying on Twitter that if everyone just like if Americans just like boycotted all spending that isn't unnecessary spending for like 2 or 3 weeks, then people would force the market to crash the prices down of things.
That's probably
which I don't
true.
know if that's like the best way to fix the market, but
no.
But we as consumers have the ability to do it if we wanted to try.
If companies are taking a stupid risk and
raising prices ridiculously to try to profit off of American pain.
So somebody did a study recently about why tariffs haven't been as inflationary as predicted. And it's because a lot of these major companies are not passing on the cost as much as they could.
Yeah, they're just taking it.
They've cut into their margins a lot, which possibly speaks to the fact that their margins were so large in the first place. I think that's unfair. They have giant corporations where they pay multiple thousands, if not in some cases millions of people. But when I heard that, I was actually very surprised that was the reason. I thought, honestly, it was the fact that there's less people buying because there's been this weird intermediary period where some people are getting laid off and some government workers are out in those areas, Northern Virginia. That's a huge consumer group that normally drives a lot of spending because they tend to be in the top 40% of income earners, at least 50 nationwide. For Virginia, it's probably a little bit lower, but
even that's, I also saw this on X. The because I can't.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
Get off of
and
Twitter.
It's trying to make you angry.
I have a problem and I can't get off Twitter. They haven't announced the job losses for October.
I know.
Like rather than the government knows how many jobs were lost in October, and they're waiting to announce it till after Thanksgiving, because they don't want more people to lose their jobs. So it's about to be bad. Things are about to be bad.
Well, but
it's okay.
They were able to post some Thanksgiving savings, and how much of those numbers are 100% real or they're in ideal markets where things are cheaper anyway, I don't know, but it definitely seemed like they were at least not ignoring it anymore, which is important. At the end of the day, the things that are observed and the things that are talked about will most likely be addressed and not just vainly talked about like, oh, here's what's happening. I think there's enough pressure there that people will get their message across.
That's what people care about.
Yeah.
They care about putting food on the table for their kids.
Yeah. End of the day, it's the economy stupid. It's the economy stupid. Wait for it. It's the economy stupid.
So true.
Hey, Carville, as much as I don't love him as an operator, he may be right about that. I take that back. He is right about that. Oh, James Carville? He was one of the massive strategic analysts on Clinton's campaign. He still goes around and does all the talk shows, and he says, as much back in my day, he's a South Carolinian.
I think that's what
I'm sure that there are plenty of things from X that you retain that more than I do because I spend like 5 minutes on it, and I don't quit.
Okay, pause.
Oh, I pause?
I'm not ready.
No, it was It was technical difficulties. Do you want to do another clap snap?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Second clap snap. No. Okay.
Yay!
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
Oh my gosh! Magically, look at that. The Coke didn't change position. We made sure to make it seamless, and then we instantly called out the fact that we did a snapback. So, we did our weekly frustrations. I think this next section is going to be revelatory,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because these are questions that I didn't actually think about when we had done some of our youth segments, being young and employed in Washington, D.C., but they're actually really important. It's especially that second question that I actually really like, and I think you've hit on some of those ideas before.
Yeah, I've spoken to the second question before, but this next one is kind of just like what is it like to be young in DC? We have 3 questions. We're gonna walk through them. We'll start with the first one though. When do you know that it's time to leave a role?
That's a hard thing to know for sure, and anybody that tells you you can have 100% certainty in any one decision about a job, I think it's seldom the case. Though, of course, if something bad is happening, if something illegal is happening, blah blah blah, the obvious cases.
Leave. Yeah, if it's
get out.
toxic, if you're taking years off your life by working there,
exactly.
leave.
But those are
That goes without saying. I
Those
feel
are
like
the obvious cases. Exactly.
we both recently, like I am leaving a role in the next week. You should stop clicking your microphone. It's gonna be so loud.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But I'm leaving a role in the next week, and you, within the last few months, transitioned to the role that you're in now, which is completely different. It was like basically a career shift from the role that you were in, because you went from recruitment to IT, which is two very different things.
Very different things.
Although you did this change very seamlessly.
Yeah.
But how did you come across? I can speak a little bit about mine, but like, how did you come across that, and how did you decide to make that role shift?
So I'll clarify one part of the question here at the beginning, which is it's in the we're gonna totally ignore what's happening on that side of the screen.
That's good.
The prerequisite here is for people that are within the first 2 to 3 years of their career. That was very informative to me when making my decision, because I figured the math adds up to maybe a year and 9-10 months, more or less, of being in the role, or at least a facsimile of the role that I was in, whether it be recruiting on campus a lot or being in person every once in a while and doing some admin work, but it was all adjacent to that. So after that amount of time there, you start to reflect and you say, okay, one, is there a path forward? That's always the first question you ask yourself. Some people are content with not moving forward. So if the answer to that question is no, and you're okay with where you are, you're making good money, I doubt that's the case within the first 2 to 3 years of your career. But I know some people that have their dream job now, and they don't ever want to leave. They're further out in the country. They make good money where they are. They can buy a house if their spouse decides to work for maybe half the year or something like that. So I get that there are obvious exceptions there, but most of the time you're not going to be at your end job. So you have to ask yourself, what is my progression forward? And when I say forward, it doesn't necessarily mean up. It doesn't have to be at the same place. It can be, if you're experimenting, in my case, I was experimenting with different ways to recruit, ways that were not necessarily innovative. There's nothing truly special. It's just a different approach than what we had normally taken there. And that led me towards more tech-oriented solutions. And I looked around and I said, okay, this landscape is not where I want to be. There are not many opportunities moving upward. And if I'm going to be at a desk all day, am I truly fulfilled being at a desk all day? The answer was no. So how do I get to the point where I could be at a desk all day, but I could still be fulfilled taking on challenges? So that's kind of a subset. So the growth opportunity, that's number one. Number two is, are you fulfilled? And then number three is, are you being poured into?
That's huge.
That's I knew you were going to get to this.
You're not being poured into. There's no reason for you to stay where you are.
And ironically, the first two is what I lacked. The third one, I would say I was having.
Where you were, they do that pretty well.
The reason I was able to switch roles relatively seamlessly, and obviously the learning gap is on me to make up. So it's not as though it was perfect. I just went, I automatically know everything and I can go over here. But the reason I was even angling that direction and I got the opportunity I got is because the managers were pouring into me and saying, if this is what you are going to be good at, you're going to actually not just do your normal job, but improve, do something a little bit extra, help out the program, then pursue that as you will. We'll give you the legroom. In some cases, we'll give you the cover. Because every once in a while, there was a question of like, why is this not happening? It's, we're spending time doing something else. We can reorient, and my bosses gave me cover for that. So if you have a person who's pouring into you, that can honestly make up a lot for the other two.
Yeah.
I would say though that you should always be focused on 1 and 3. And then number
What was
2,
one?
number 1 is growth opportunities. And the
Yeah.
reason that's important is not
I don't think
necessarily
you need to. I don't think you need to always be focused on that. Like when you're starting,
mhm.
I think number 3 is more important than number 1.
That's
like
fair. Find
when
a
you're very
mentor.
first starting, finding someone
An
who will
actual
pour
mentor.
into you and like going to a job that will train you up, like you will find the growth opportunities naturally and it will
Mhm.
come up and you will find ways to grow if you're actually like trying.
Yeah.
But you can't escape number 3. You're not going to grow if you have nothing pouring into you.
See, that's I understand where you're coming from. This is the number 1, the growth opportunities, the path forward. That to me is just as essential as the latter, because having someone that's pouring into you is great. But if you are not looking for it, doesn't matter. You can gain plenty of knowledge. You can gain all of the necessary skills. You can be growing if you're great at your job, if you're doing all the right things. But if you're not looking forward, if you're not oriented towards the future, then you are going to go in the wrong direction. You can learn all these great skills that aren't going to get you to where you need to go. You always have to be thinking about that next step, not because you want to leave, not because you want to leave your friends behind, because you're greedy and you want to make more money, but you growing in your career and being at a place where you can sustain a family, where you can be fulfilled, very often will come with more responsibility, and being oriented towards that is extremely important from the very first moment that you step in. If you don't know where you're going, then what are you putting in that effort for? You're going to become listless. You're going to lack that purpose eventually, in my opinion. I could be wrong though. What about you? What is those things that you have to?
I think it's partially true. I'm going to speak about my very specific circumstance because I think it's really relevant for young people. Like, how do you know when it's time to leave a role? For me, I most recently decided to leave the role that I'm in, even though I had all those things.
That's fair.
I mean, I had the growth opportunities. I mean, I was about to get promoted, or was very likely. It was looking like I was going to get promoted. I was fulfilling my job. I'm really good at running events, and I really enjoy running events. And I also had people that were pouring into me and were making sure that I was succeeding in my role. But I looked and realized I am 22 years old. I am really good at what I do right now. But if I take this promotion, if I stay here, I will for the rest of my life be running events. And I will not have and that will be it. I will and that's not a bad thing. I very likely will come back to events because I'm so good at it and because I really, really enjoy it. And I think that when you enjoy something that's as fulfilling as this has been for me, like you will come back to it. God has given me that proclivity for a reason, and I will come back to it. But I realize that I'm young and I should be taking risks and trying new things right now. And so even though the next career step, the next growth opportunity to everybody else looks like it should be taking that promotion or looking for the next type of events job, I'm kind of stepping sideways to something else. And doing a different career shift. Like I'm going to work on the Hill and do some scheduling there, and it's different than what it's in the same vein. It's still in operations. I love operations, and that's what I'm good at. My brain thinks that way, but it is different. But it's because I knew that I would spend the rest of my life thinking, what if I didn't do this? And if you are at a point in your career where there's a possibility where you're going to spend the rest of your life saying, I wish I did this instead, you have to make the jump. You have to leave. I don't think it's worth it. When you are young, and you don't have people relying on you, I don't have family. I don't I don't have kids. I don't have a husband right now. Now is the time for me to go work for the controversial person on the Hill. You know what I mean? Now is the time for me to throw myself into work that is new and exciting and something that I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to leave and work on the Hill when I'm, in my 30s. But I will be able to come back and do this job that I'm really good at, that I already know I'm really good at because I've done it already. And so I was just I need to do this now. If I don't do this now, I will never get to do it, and I will regret that forever. So that's why I left. And I think that that's applicable to young people.
I think the twofold, you made your statement one way and then you made it another way. I think the second way is better, a better descriptor, which is you wanted to develop an adjacent skill set and you wanted to make sure that you're not pigeonholed. That's the issue. I take issue with the phrasing there because you're 2 years in though. You're never.
I know.
You're
but
never
but then I would be
into
4 or 5.
I know, but
Like that's the thing is
people change careers all the time.
I absolutely get that. But I also think that if you are gonna be good at something, you're more valuable if you have a lot of experience in that thing.
That's fair.
If I had taken this promotion, I would have locked myself into being at this organization doing this job because I wouldn't, you know me, I wouldn't be able to leave this without like fully like seeing all of my commitments out. I would have locked myself in for 3 years.
That's
4
fair.
years.
That's fair.
And so that means like I go from being 22 at this organization to being 26 at this organization, which isn't a nightmare for me. I love this place.
Oh no,
but
I'm
it's
coming
like,
up on that. Oh.
but it's like then I'll have spent 6 years running events here, and that is a big difference between spending 2.5, 3 years running events here versus like versus 6 years.
Yeah.
And then like 2.5, 3 years, then doing scheduling here, then doing operations here, and like I want when I'm young to expand that.
See, I don't disagree with that. The underlying thing, take the risk while you're young. I'm 100% on. I'm not as young as you, which is really weird to feel. Really weird to talk about because I'll be honest, I feel like we're on the same wavelength a lot of time, but I forget sometimes that you are 22 and I'm 25.
I'm still in college.
Yeah.
Like
I'm an old head in comparison. I'm an old
I was
head.
talking to someone earlier who was about the same age, and I was like, yeah, when you graduated college, I was graduating high school. But it's like, and it's so common in DC that we're all the same age, even though we're...
Well, like we said in the last one,
apart.
we're going to be closer to the cousins our age than the Gen Xers or the boomer grandparents. So at the end of the day, I look across, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a peer. We both, at this point, it doesn't matter when you graduate college. It really doesn't matter your age. You've been in the workforce 2 years. I've been in the workforce 2 years. At this point, we're on equivalent terms.
So if you went off when I graduated college, I'm never going to graduate at this rate. I'm doing my best, but I'm holding on tight. I'm like, please, please, please. But at this rate, it's going to be another 6 years before I graduate.
Hey, 6 years?
No, it'll be maybe 2, maybe a year. I don't know. I don't know.
When you get that degree, I'm going to be out there waving that green flag. Oh, Taylor, you got it. Let's go.
Thanks.
Speaking of green flags, sorry, that was a terrible transition. What's your number one green flag in a manager?
I think I've talked about this before, but my biggest green flag in a manager is somebody who is willing to trust you. And I don't mean like somebody who doesn't check in on your work or who doesn't want to be CC'd or like following chain of command is a good thing. Like that's like all that's all said and done. That's all good. But I do mean if someone is like constantly like up in your business and questioning you or like needs lots of meetings, lots of instructions, or like it just like needs constant updates. That's a little stressful for me. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So someone who like trusts your work. And I've talked about this before. It's not someone who trusts your work immediately.
Of course.
It's someone who like after 6 months sees that you're trustworthy, has worked with you and gotten you to a place where they trust you and is now like letting you do your job. That's for me is a green flag in a manager.
Yeah, I love that. Not only you're worthy of the trust, but it's nice, and I would even say reassuring, devoid of if they're getting over a mental barrier on their end, and that's what it is finally when they trust you. It's simply the fact that they have enough reassurance to say, all right, Taylor's going to go plan this event, full faith and confidence. I'll check the budget afterwards. I'll make sure she's coding her ramp stuff because it'll show up on my doorstep, but otherwise we're A-okay.
I have so much ramp to do before I leave next week.
You got it. We can automate it all. You know what? I'll send in a robot. I'll send a robot Alex, and he'll get it all done.
Great.
I'm just kidding. There is no robot. Don't follow that.
I know you are.
I am a robot, but there's
you're
no
a robot
equivalent. So my green flag in a manager, trust didn't even really show up in my mind. Maybe it's because I inherently think I'm trustworthy, which is probably an issue. I shouldn't inherently think that I am trustworthy. because I make
Your
mistakes.
manager does that well, though.
That's fair.
Like,
That's
if
fair.
he sees that you're doing good work, as long as like you're actually he trusts you to do your work.
That's fair.
He's a green flag in my eyes.
Yeah, I also think that at the very beginning he may have been a little too trusting, and that's not because I think I broke anything, but it was, oh, you don't have permissions to do this yet. Let's just go open it up. And it made sure that I could do my job, and we didn't end up breaking anything. So obviously he hired me for a reason that he figured I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But it might have been a little bit too quickly. But I think at the end of the day, his thought process is you break it. If it's something that you could break, we can fix it.
I mean, that's
super
his
easily.
thing is he knows if you break it, that means he knows how to fix it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you're not gonna know how to break anything big enough that he can't fix.
Exactly. The green flag that I've had in all of my positions from all my bosses here, except maybe one or two at the very beginning of my tenure, and even then, were they really my boss or were they just my direct supervisor?
Yeah.
It's a very big difference. And if you don't realize that's a big difference, you should. I'm not saying ever skip over somebody, but if you have a direct supervisor that's not giving you very much, don't be afraid to reach out to the guy above him and say, I want a little bit more from you. Normally they'll have a little bit more time on their hands too, because they're not going to be doing as much busy work in the case that I was in my previous job. That changes with some managers.
It's depending on the manager.
And they have lots of
My
meetings.
boss is like has way more busy work.
That's
than,
fair.
Like, cause he's just
That's fair.
meetings. He has so many direct reports.
Yeah, so take that with a grain of salt. But find those people who are willing to teach you, and not just the pouring into you, because the pouring into you can take so many forms. But when I say teach you, I mean you can go up to them and say, I do not understand. It touches on this thing that we talked about before, which is being willing to admit you don't understand, and having somebody who is willing to say, okay, you don't understand. I may not be able to do it right now. Let's schedule a time.
Yeah.
They are willing to schedule out the 15, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour that you need to learn. Because why that's a green flag for me. One, it shows that they're not just worried about hitting their goals. They're not just worried about making sure they get their work done. They have a really good understanding of what a team actually is. Because at this rate, you're probably not a manager yet. If you're 2 to 3 years in, for that direct that direct supervisor or that director, the people who very often will not make the time to teach you how to do it right, but simply say, oh, get it done, like send you a doc or something like that, they don't actually understand what building a good team is. They don't understand how building everybody up will help everybody else, or they simply don't prioritize it, which is still a red flag in my mind.
Yeah.
The teaching is the most important. And it's not even about, oh, they want to see you succeed. They have a self-interest in doing the thing that I'm talking about, which is making sure that you're prepared. So being that rational and understanding it's not just about making sure that Alex knows how to do X, Y, Z, but that the team's not going to mess up this, that Alex and his coworker M or MP can step up and handle something because I've taught them how to handle half of it, a quarter of it, or their individual parts of it is extremely important in my opinion.
I think it's interesting that you disagreed with your boss when you first were given all those permissions. What's the best response when
I disagree with
with
your
your
boss? Be blunt. I know that I know I've gotten in a lot of trouble for being blunt, and I've gotten lots of looks of Alex, you're stupid, or no, that doesn't make any sense. But every once in a while, when they have an intuition about what you're saying, when you disagree and they actually can't quite articulate why they agree with you, but they know that something you're saying is inherently true, if you have a good manager, they'll latch onto that and say, expand.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Exactly.
on that,
Let's
yeah.
keep drilling down on that because I feel something too, but we need to explore it a little bit together. Because very seldom are you going to have the perfect answer that articulates exactly what you're feeling, at least in my case. And very seldom is the boss going to immediately say, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's why you have to disagree. That's why you have to be blunt with them. And if you're just wrong, they'll tell you why you're wrong and they'll move on, I assure you.
I'm a disagreeer in the workplace.
Yeah.
Like, I am not afraid to say, ooh. And my boss now, he's been my boss really not even for that long, 5 months or so.
Pretty short amount of time.
And but like, I made it pretty clear, like, it's not like an incompetence. It's not it's not over cocky.
Yeah.
When I disagree with something,
Mm-hmm.
I always have a reason for why I disagree, and I'm always willing to voice it. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not worthy of being voiced, if I don't have a good enough reason, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
But now all I really have to do in a meeting to like to like get my boss's attention, even like a meeting, like a big meeting of people, I really just have to go. And he goes, "Okay, Taylor,
Yeah.
what's all right? What are you thinking?"
Mhm.
And I just give him a look, and
Yeah.
I tell him, and I'm the person who like will say, "Oh, I don't think that's right. Like I disagree."
Your point of having a reason is extremely, extremely important. If you can't articulate it quite yet, besides there's a vibe and you don't know if your manager's okay with exploring that with you, go and also don't call them out in person. You can go and have a conversation with them afterwards. But if you have a good reason and you're willing to present it and you think that they're not going to be hostile when you call them out in front of people, just make sure you know your situation too. Don't just openly go, "Oh, you're wrong."
I think it helps a little bit. Like I've been working events in this role for a few years, and there's not like that many people at this organization that has been running events in building as long as I have right now, which is a weird thing to think about because like I really haven't been here that long. But like there are a lot of people have left in the last couple of years, and so I almost always have a reason, like, and I know the reason, but my boss might not know the reason why I'm disagreeing with him yet. And so if I've deeply thought about something, which is oftentimes I've deeply thought about all of the things that I do, and I can give you step-by-step breakdowns of literally everything that I do. But I don't need to unless someone asks for it. But the like if he's saying something that I disagree with, that means that's something that it's something I've thought about, and I have an answer. And I think that some people have this like they want to like, some people are just disagreeable people. And they just want to like be like a contrarian, and that's not helpful in a business setting in a lot of ways. Like that's like it's not getting you anywhere. But like I will never be afraid of, if I have a real reason to have a disagreement, I'll never be afraid to say that reason. And you should say it fast and speak up, talk about it.
Sometimes your gut does not betray you, but that doesn't mean you have to speak right that moment.
Yeah.
Because I've had those moments we have group meetings, and it's changing now, but for a while we had group meetings on a weekly basis. And a lot of the time I would be the guy saying, "I don't know about this, I don't know about that." And when they would drill down, it was, let's like give it a second, because I inherently feel a certain way about it. My gut tells me that something's not quite right, and then my mind is catching up from where my gut is. And sometimes my gut is just wrong because I don't have a true understanding of how any given system works. That's happened on 3 separate occasions.
You're still learning,
Yeah, but sometimes when it's like you advocating for the users, that's something I am more than adept at, and I am very aware of how a lot of our people use our systems. And that sometimes takes a little bit of time, but if you follow your gut and you have a good team, you can get away with speaking up, but give it a little bit of time sometimes. Sometimes I've come away in an entire day afterwards and I said, that's how I should have said it, or this is how I have to say it. Because I'm a slow processor. I need to think it over multiple times in order to get the best way to say it. And that's not a bad thing. I repeat to you, it's not a bad thing. Trust your gut sometimes. If you've been here at a position long enough and you know the environment, you know the people you're interacting with, that firsthand experience will be extremely useful. I promise you, because there's gaps everywhere. You know a whole bunch of people in XYZ department that I don't know so well. There's 2 examples off the top of my head I can think of that you know them way better than I do, but in that exact same department, I know these 2 other people way better than you do. Those sort of personal experiences, interpersonal ones, every single person can bring that to a team, and you have to be conscious of that, even when your boss is trying to push something that you think is a little bit half butt.
Speaking of things I'm not conscious about.
What are you not conscious about?
Hit me with your trivia question.
You might be...
You're up next on trivia.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if you're going to know this one. But then again...
I don't know.
Maybe. Let's just roll with it. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution ratified in 1992 was originally proposed in 1789? And it holds the record for the longest ratification period.
That's crazy. Give me the date again that it was added in.
So when it was actually ratified, 1992. When it was originally proposed,
1992.
Yes.
Oh,
originally
gosh,
proposed,
recent. Okay.
1789.
That's crazy. What could that possibly be?
Do you want me to give you what it actually does in rough terms?
Oh, because then I'm gonna look uneducated. So no, I don't want you to.
I
It's
wouldn't.
not
Have,
gonna help me number.
I wouldn't have remembered.
What are we
which one.
at? How many are we at? How many amendments to the Constitution are we at? I'm
What's up?
cooked.
What's up?
I'm
You got
cooked.
it. You got it. Remember
23. It's the 23rd Amendment. Up 27th.
Hey, she's smart. She got it.
I was like, what year would it have been?
The 27th.
And it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
27th.
Yes, ma'am. Constitutional pay raises can't
Yes!
take effect.
I got it.
You should know this.
So good. 27th Amendment.
Okay. We led you up to it. Calm down now.
Huge.
Congressional pay
I got
raises
it.
can't take effect until after
Yeah.
the next election.
Yeah.
Yep, you should know this intimately here within the next little
Yeah.
bit.
I will. I'm sure I'll have to. I'm gonna store that one up here, and I'm gonna have
Yep,
to use
you're
it
definitely.
in my next job.
definitely
It genuinely will be referenced in my new job.
Oh, 100%.
So it's gotta be.
100%.
There's no way.
Yeah, that was a wild pull for you. You really
27th.
you really pulled that out of nowhere. Minus a thumbs up. But it's okay. You pulled it out of nowhere. It was really wild. The next section is also very wild.
Oh yeah.
Because
yes.
we're going to wild predictions. Also, if you can do a super compilation of all my terrible transitions throughout all the podcasts, it'd be great. It'd be really funny, I assure you. Okay. What's your wild prediction?
Okay, so my previous wild prediction was that I'm not going to go into what I'm not going to go into that.
That would be great.
I
That'd be
can't.
great.
We discussed this.
Mhm.
My previous wild prediction was that Ellen DeGeneres will be coming back
Mhm.
at some point.
Yes.
In the news cycle in the
Yeah.
next few years. 3 years, I think is what I said.
Yeah.
She hasn't come back yet, so we're still waiting on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
My
it's only been a
wild
little bit.
prediction for this one, the
Mhm.
new Wicked movie just came out.
Yes.
Crazy stuff happening with that, but I'm not going to focus on that. There's lots of pop culture things we could get into there. It's
Yeah.
like a weird stuff happening
I don't
with the
quite
Wicked
understand
movie.
any of it, so
People are just like really
I'm out of
skinny. They're
touch,
just like gonna
man.
blow away. It's like
Yeah.
crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, where'd you go?
Where'd you
How
come
did
from?
half
Where'd
of
you
these
come-
women just like disappear? Anyways, but there's some like new Wicked movie
Mm-hmm.
came out. I grew up. Wicked was my favorite musical growing up.
Never understood the craze.
I saw it on Broadway when I
Oh,
was
that's
young.
why you're wearing the Dorothy dress. I get
Oh my
it
gosh.
now. No,
Dorothy's
it's,
dress is
I know
blue.
it's blue, but it's the pattern. It's the pattern. Yeah.
Sure. And so I grew up on it, so
Yeah.
it was a joy. And I really enjoyed the new Wicked movie. It was
Mhm.
all right. It was good. And
You've already gone to see it in the movie
Mhm.
theater?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it came out like it's gonna have been out for a couple weeks
Yeah.
when people see this. I like saw this like
The
the day after it opened.
Dang, okay.
I was really excited. I grew up on Wicked, and I
Yeah,
was
that's
really
fair,
excited
that's
to
fair,
see
that's
what
fair,
they
that's
did
fair.
with the second act. The second act is a lot darker,
Mhm.
but my guess is we're already seeing some of this. There's already like crazy overconsumption
Mhm.
surrounding the Wicked movie.
Yeah.
But there has been they do that with every movie. There's either huge press tours
Of course.
and
Of course.
everyone's like buying stuff Wicked related.
T-shirts,
and-
hats, costumes, all
yeah,
this. Yeah.
everyone's dressing in pink and in green,
yeah.
and they're buying the little music boxes that are being sold
Yes.
in the theaters, and like
Yeah.
it's all these things. But my prediction
Mhm.
is that they're gonna see how much money this made,
Mhm.
and they're not gonna be able to help themselves. They're gonna want to make a third movie,
A third Wicked?
even though it does not follow the play, the
At all?
musical. No, because this is the second act. It's over now,
done.
and it has a good ending. Like you shouldn't really mess with it. My prediction, and I think I'm gonna be a little bit off on this.
Mhm.
They're either gonna do like a spin-off, like TV series,
Yeah.
or like try to make something the third
Jeff
movie.
Goldblum, I mean, that's
yeah,
you
like
gotta capitalize on that.
I think they're gonna try, or maybe like a movie before, like
Mhm.
about his character,
Yeah.
about the Oz character.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try to capitalize on it in a way that they don't need to.
So kind of like the Hunger Games Haymitch books.
Yeah, but I love those.
No, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying they do
Kind of.
something
I'm
about
thinking
the
more along the like
previous-
Marvel. Like I'm
Mm.
thinking along the lines of Marvel. I
Okay.
think they're going to like spin off into a TV show is probably the most likely
Okay.
thing, or
Okay.
spin off into a movie of the beginning of how Oz was like came into his power.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be completely unnecessary, and they shouldn't do it. They should just let it stand as it is because it's a great story as it is.
They're not capable of that. You
But
know
I think the overconsumption, they're just going to be too greedy, and they're going
they're
to
gonna
do
have
it.
to go for
That's
it.
my wild prediction.
They better go fast before both the actresses disappear.
Yeah, before they shrivel up,
Exactly.
because I feel so bad looking
I
at
know.
them.
I know. Okay, well that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I would say it's in line with what we've seen historically in the industry.
Yeah, right now it's like
And yet it
evil and greedy.
feels like Marvel, they can go in all these different directions because they have a whole bunch of comics.
Yeah.
This feels like they really would be knocking down doors in order to go and make a third movie.
Yeah.
Okay, my wild prediction. I'm so cynical. I'm so eager to see companies collapse, apparently, because guess what it is this time? Last time it was an AI company collapsing. This time, I think Adobe will be dead and buried, not foreclosed, not bankruptcy, dead and buried within 12 years.
This is a crazy prediction.
I don't know what to tell you.
But
I've done so
once
many things.
As soon as you said it, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, maybe he's right.
Their products are so pervasive. They're across every
Yeah.
part of the industry, which one means they have a giant exposure to all these different segments in which they can be taken over. So think of DaVinci. DaVinci is a more
Yeah.
huge movie quality sort of editing software, and yet so many people use it. They become very proficient through the Premiere Pro or Final Cut, and they say, actually, I want something better. Then you have Canva coming for simple poster editing.
That's so true.
All of their AI stuff. Figma is a huge web design company that just went public. Adobe wasn't allowed to buy them back in the day. The FTC said, nope, you're not allowed to do this. You're buying them up and you're going to kill them essentially in order to stop innovation. So I think there are so many new ways that these companies are approaching it. And also the cloud computing thing that Adobe's been on for a while. But having almost all of your services located in the cloud solely, rather than having all your compute be on computer, provides an opportunity for so many of these companies to step up. And if the FTC continues in this route and they say, Adobe, you can't come and acquire these companies and kill them before they reach the place where they can actually challenge you and go public, I think the user experience on Adobe is terrible.
Yeah.
And let's be clear, there's so many great tools, and I know so many people that can do so many great, beautiful things with it, more than I could ever do. I have friends who, for years, I spent watching them in the lab actually making great things. But, big but here, if every single product does not work perfectly across the ecosystem and they're natively attached to one another, and you have to have the InDesign work in order to send it here, and then InDesign breaks, and then you can't send it along the pipeline, you're creating so many places for people to get frustrated with you.
Yeah.
And so many user experiences that go bad that I could see them going the way of Kodak.
And the more frustrations, the more the market allows for somebody to come in and say, I solved this
Exactly.
frustration for you. Even if my
Exactly.
product isn't as good as what you're used to with Adobe,
Yeah.
if I fix the frustration that you have, like, it's over.
Well,
it's
this
over
is
for them.
this is the epitome of the market being controlled and getting close to a monopoly. Not perfect, but pretty darn close.
Yeah,
The
it
only
is
thing
close.
the only thing that was even rivaling Premiere was Final Cut for a long time.
Yeah.
Industry standard, you're not finding many other tools besides maybe DaVinci.
But
and
DaVinci's free.
DaVinci's
Like-
free. Lightroom was pretty big there for a
and
little bit.
DaVinci's really good, honestly. It's very close
Yeah.
to...
So like,
And you can have it automatically set to all the settings of Premiere. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
this is the point where you have a semi-monopoly, you have pure market dominance,
Yeah.
and this is a free market response. It's a new age of technology that has enabled all of these challengers to come in. It is the greatest example for not regulating Adobe, locking them in as the incumbent, but simply saying, we're going to let the frustrations of you being the only person to offer these services, therefore the only place to direct people's ire, they're going to go out and make a new product.
Yeah.
I think it will happen within 12 years. Maybe some people think I'm crazy there, but it's the way of Kodak. It's dead and buried. Yeah.
Well, it's such a joy to be able to look at you and say, maybe you're crazy, maybe you're not. But you know what else is a joy? My joy of the week is...
Hold on. Everybody pause. Just clapping emojis. That was good. That was really clean. I love that. What's your joy of the week, Taylor? That was spectacular. That
So-
may be my new joy of the week.
Yeah, this is... this is going to be a good... this is going to date this episode a little bit. But
Mhm.
I've had 3 Friendsgivings. And that's my joy.
Oh,
My
yeah.
joy is that I've had 3 Friendsgivings. 2 of them were on one day. But I think
Bit
it's
much,
so
but yeah.
lovely. I think it's so lovely to be invited into people's homes.
Mhm.
to have people like cook for you, to bring baked goods. I brought baked goods to all of them. And to just enjoy the company of the people around you, of like-minded people who love the Lord and are coming together to celebrate their thankfulness to the Lord. And I when this episode comes out, we will have had Thanksgiving already.
Yes.
And so I am very joyful. I think that Thanksgiving is a beautiful time for our country to reflect on the joys that the Lord has given us, and to give that back to the Lord and say, thank you, God, for what you've done for us this year. That's the point of Thanksgiving. That's what Thanksgiving historically has all been about, and that's what it should be about. And so my joy of the week is that Thanksgiving has happened, and that I got to spend it with friends. I got to spend it with friends' family, and I get to be grateful that God has been so kind to me and to this country, and I get to thank him for that. So that's my joy.
That's so touching. You're so nice. Mine is not that nice.
It's okay.
But it's okay.
Hit
It's
me
okay.
with it.
Yeah. Mine is about a very godly coworker of ours who
Okay.
has had a suspicion of AI for quite some time.
Okay.
And we had trained her up on using some of the really
Yes,
basic
yes.
tools. She came to our AI training that we hosted here in the office, and she not only used it to refine a memo or some sort of draft that she was sending up to her boss, but she went back and forth with it, and then she bragged about it, which means she feels so comfortable using it that now she's bragging about her
I'm
usage.
pretty sure you've done this joy before.
Did I do this, Joy, with her?
I'm pretty
Did I
sure
do this,
you
Joy?
did this
I thought
joy.
I had this one written down for the. Yeah, I didn't take that one for this. I had it written down for this,
Maybe
and then
I'm
we moved
wrong.
things around.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it was written on this one before, but I don't know if we did it for
I
that.
don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, hey, I'll come up with another joy. I am so joyous that we were able to have uncorrupted footage. I am so confident that it is uncorrupted.
this time it's uncorrupted.
That, you know
That's
what?
our joy.
That
That this
I'm happy
time our
about it.
footage is uncorrupted.
Exactly. And let's be clear, it was not actually corrupted. The battery just died. They are very different things, and if they
Yes.
were corrupted, they would be unfindable. And also, we thank our studios team. That's my
lovely
joy of the week.
Our joy of the week is
Actually,
our studio
I
team
like
is
that
so
he made us
kind.
work for it. I like that he made us
Yeah.
work for it a little bit this week in order to sit down and do something. It was a little bit more fun, a little bit more
Yeah.
playful, even though it was kind of weird writing a poem at lunchtime. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, with that, what was our thing for them to do this week? What was our comment battle? I can't remember from the very
Tell
beginning.
me, last week we had you tell us what your favorite food was. Tell me what you're thankful for. And
Yes.
don't just tell me. I want you to thank the Lord for what you're thankful for this year. So in the comments, say, thank you, Lord, for giving me this thing.
Prayer emojis are very welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, stay safe. Don't die. Come on, give me some.
Crazy. You don't have a player on your truck. I was at a loss for words the first time that we spoke. You're looking for a brutal to treat you right.